MSA is committed to continuous product improvement. From time to time, improvements may change the appearance or function of your product. Check www.msanet.com for the latest in training materials. This program is a supplement to, not a substitute for, the operation and instructions that came with your product. Thoroughly read the operation and instructions, including all warnings, cautions, and notices before using your product. Built on MSA's durable fire service proven airframe carrier, the AirHawk 2 MMR air mask has many of the features found on MSA's state-of-the-art Firehawk M7 air mask. The airframe carrier is ergonomically designed to distribute weight over the user's hips for comfort and stability. The airframe carrier is light and strong. Large side handles and a central attachment point aid rescue operations. Options include a Kevlar material harness that resists high temperatures and shoulder pads for increased comfort. An optional lumbar pad adds comfort by cushioning and distributing weight across the wearer's hips. The AirHawk 2 air mask is available with a 2216 PSIG cylinder or 4500 PSIG cylinder and delivers 30, 45, or 60 minutes of rated service time. A nylon or Kevlar material cylinder band with an adjustable nylon buckle holds the cylinder to the carrier. For fast drop-in cylinder replacement, select the optional stainless steel cylinder band. Cylinder air passes through MSA's AutoAlarm audible alarm. The AutoAlarm audible alarm's loud and distinctive bell is an unmistakable EOST, or end of service time indicator. It rings when cylinder pressure drops to 25% of capacity, approximately 550 PSIG on 2216 PSIG systems, and approximately 1125 PSIG on 4500 PSIG systems. A high-pressure hose leads to the PR14 first stage regulator. The PR14 regulator has only 14 replaceable parts, the fewest in the industry for easy maintenance without special tools. 2 hoses come out of the PR14 first stage regulator. A high-pressure hose leads to the pressure gauge. An intermediate pressure hose leads to the second stage mask-mounted regulator, which connects to either an ultra-elite facepiece with a push-to-connect or slide-to-connect inlet, or to an Advantage 4000 facepiece with a push-to-connect inlet. The Advantage 4000 facepiece is a versatile workhorse that transforms into a gas mask or air-purifying respirator in minutes. It is available with a breathable mesh head harness or pre-adjustable silicone head harness. The Ultra Elite facepiece comes with a standard rubber head harness or optional speed-on flame-resistant Kevlar head harness. The Ultra Elite facepiece has a speaking diaphragm for clear, short-range communication. Both facepieces feature exhalation check valves to prevent cross-contamination by keeping exhaled air from entering the mask-mounted regulator. Check regulator and AutoAlarm audible alarm function before each use. Press the shut-off button to make sure the regulator is off, and turn the bypass knob counterclockwise to make sure that the bypass is closed. Pressurize the system by opening the cylinder valve all the way. The AutoAlarm audible alarm bell rings as the pressure rises between 50 and 200 PSIG. Check the second stage regulator. There should be no airflow. If there is, press the shut-off button and make sure the bypass is closed. Compare the cylinder gauge to the remote gauge. Their pressure readings must agree to within 10% of cylinder pressure. For 2216 PSIG cylinders, the reading must be within 220 PSIG. For 4500 PSIG systems, it must be within 450 PSIG. Check the bypass by turning the knob counterclockwise. Check for airflow. Turn the knob clockwise to close the bypass. Check the system for leaks. Close the cylinder valve and watch the harness pressure gauge. If the reading drops more than 100 PSIG in 10 seconds, there is a leak. Remove the unit from service and send it to an MSA certified repair person. Check the low pressure alarm. Crack the bypass valve to bleed pressure slowly. The alarm will sound when the pressure drops below 25% of cylinder capacity. For a 2216 PSIG system, approximately 550 PSIG. For a 4500 PSIG system, it is approximately 1125 PSIG. The alarm must continue to sound until pressure drops below 200 PSIG. When the system pressure reaches zero, close the bypass. If the alarm fails to sound, do not use the apparatus. The air mask must be checked and corrected for proper operation by an MSA trained or certified repair person before using. Failure to follow this warning may result in serious personal injury or death. Before donning the air mask, check for a full cylinder. Do not use an air mask with less than a full cylinder. Ensure that the auto-alarm coupling nut is hand-tight. Do not use an air mask with a loose auto-alarm coupling nut. Using an air mask with a loose coupling nut can cause O-ring failure, which can result in sudden loss of cylinder pressure. Always hand-tighten the coupling nut before using the air mask. Failure to follow this warning can result in serious personal injury or death. Reach through the right shoulder strap and hold the pressure gauge. Slide left arm through left shoulder strap. Bend forward slightly and rest the air mask on your back. If present, fasten the chest strap. Fasten the waist strap and adjust it for a snug, comfortable fit. Grasp the shoulder strap tabs. Straighten up and tighten the shoulder straps by pulling the tabs. Tuck the shoulder and waist strap ends under the waist belt. Check that the sealing ring is present, seated properly, and is not torn, gouged, or nicked. Do not use a cover lens in a high-temperature environment. High temperatures may distort the cover lens, or moisture trapped between a cover lens and the facepiece lens may condense and distort vision. Always remove the cover lens before donning the facepiece. When using the Advantage 4000 facepiece, ensure the inhalation valve disc is laying flat against the adapter orifice. Loosen the harness straps until the end tabs are at the buckles. Grasp the straps and place your chin in the chin cup. Pull the harness over your head. Pull the harness down and center it on the back of your head. Tighten the lower straps first by pulling them straight back, not out. If present, tighten the temple straps the same way and adjust the center strap for a snug fit against the face. Ensure that no hair is between the sealing surface and your head. Make sure the harness tabs do not interfere with the facepiece seal. Perform a negative pressure seal check before each use and before re-entering a contaminated area. Block the inlet adapter. Take a deep breath and hold it for at least 10 seconds. The facepiece should collapse and stay collapsed for the entire 10 seconds. If it does not, adjust the facepiece fit and test again. Test the exhalation valve. Take a deep breath and hold it. Block the inlet adapter and exhale. If the valve is stuck, there will be a rush of air at the sealing surface. Exhale sharply to release the valve. Do not use the facepiece if the exhalation valve is not functioning properly. This device may not seal properly with your face if you have a beard, gross sideburns, or similar physical characteristics. See ANSI Z88.2. An improper seal may allow contaminants to enter the facepiece, reducing or eliminating respiratory protection. Do not use this device if such conditions exist. Users must pass a negative pressure seal check before each use. Never remove the facepiece except in a safe, non-hazardous, non-toxic atmosphere. Failure to follow this warning can result in serious personal injury or death. Open the cylinder valve fully. To connect a push-to-connect regulator, press the release buttons and remove the regulator from the keeper. Orient the regulator with the bypass knob to the right. Push the regulator into the inlet connector until it locks. Check proper engagement by tugging on the regulator. Inhale to start airflow. To connect a slide-to-connect regulator, orient the regulator with the bypass knob to the right and slide button up. Slide the regulator down the rail until it stops. Swing the regulator into the adapter and push it until it locks into place. Inhale to start airflow. Check proper engagement by tugging on the regulator. Do not use the respirator unless the regulator is connected properly. A regulator that is not installed correctly can separate from the facepiece unexpectedly. Return the respirator to an MSA-trained or certified repair person to correct the condition. Failure to follow this warning can result in serious personal injury or death. Check the bypass again by turning the knob counterclockwise until you feel increased airflow. Close the bypass. There must be a continuous flow of air when the bypass knob is opened. If not, do not use the apparatus. The respirator must be checked and the condition corrected by an MSA-trained or certified repair person before using it. Failure to follow this warning can result in serious personal injury or death. Periodically check the pressure indicated on the harness pressure gauge. When the needle reaches the red zone, approximately 25% of the rated service pressure, the alarm will sound. When the alarm sounds or the pressure drops to approximately 25%, return to fresh air immediately. If you experience reduced airflow, immediately open the bypass and return to fresh air. Opening the bypass greatly reduces service time. If the air mask free flows, return to fresh air immediately. NIOSH certification requires a nose cup to reduce fogging at temperatures below freezing. Moisture in the mask-mounted regulator can freeze even if the surrounding air is above freezing. As air drops quickly from cylinder pressure to near atmospheric pressure, it expands and cools. The temperature inside the regulator may be low enough to freeze water and restrict airflow. To help keep moisture out of the regulator, stow it in the standby belt mount. Before entering or re-entering a hazardous atmosphere, make sure the buttons and bypass valve are ice-free and operating properly. Periodically check the bypass to be sure it is ice-free. Moisture can enter through the cylinder valve or coupling nut while changing cylinders. To prevent moisture or contamination from entering the system, remove ice from the nipple and coupling nut and cylinder valve thread. Make sure they are dry before disconnecting the AutoAlarm audible alarm. Depressurize the system before removing the cylinder. Disconnect the AutoAlarm audible alarm. With stainless steel cylinder holders, lift and turn the latch wing counterclockwise to loosen the cylinder clamp and slide out the cylinder. With fabric cylinder holders, lift the buckle to loosen the strap and slide out the cylinder. Be careful not to drop cylinder or bump the valve knob. An unsecured cylinder can become an airborne projectile under its own pressure if the valve is opened even slightly. Failure to follow this warning can result in serious personal injury or death. Slide a fully charged cylinder into the carrier with gauge facing out. Turn the latch wing clockwise to lock the cylinder into position. Close the buckle to tighten the cylinder strap. Tug on the cylinder to check for secure attachment. To adjust the cylinder strap, lengthen or shorten the outer strap. Open the buckle and shorten the strap until the buckle is approximately 45 degrees from vertical. Reposition the slide as needed. Close the cylinder buckle. Do not use the air mask if the cylinder is not attached firmly to the carrier. To avoid damage to the buckle, do not over-tighten the cylinder strap. Inspect the nipple O-ring. Make sure it is present and in good condition. Connect the AutoAlarm audible alarm. Make sure the coupling nut is hand tight. Begin by disconnecting the regulator. To disconnect a push-to-connect regulator, push the release buttons and pull the regulator down and out of the inlet adapter. Close the cylinder valve and open the bypass to release system pressure. Close the bypass. Stow the regulator in the standby belt mount. To disconnect a slide-to-connect regulator, press the shut-off button and pull the regulator out of the inlet adapter. Close the cylinder valve. Open the bypass to release system pressure. Close the bypass. Stow the regulator in the standby belt mount. Clean the mask before inspection to help protect against contact with hazardous contaminants that may be on the mask. If you suspect the presence of contaminants, use appropriate skin and respiratory protection. If chemical or radioactive materials contaminate your unit, you must either decontaminate or dispose of it according to all applicable regulatory standards. You'll need MSA Confidence Plus germicidal cleaner, a generic mild soap or detergent, a sponge, a soft bristled scrubbing brush, some clean, soft, lint-free cloth, and a tube of Crystolube. Follow label instructions to mix MSA Confidence Plus germicidal cleaner into warm water, no hotter than 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot water may distort the rubber parts. Never use alcohol as a germicide, or solvent-based or abrasive cleaners. MSA Confidence Plus cleans and disinfects in one operation. Thoroughly wash the facepiece and nose cup in the cleaning solution. Rinse in plain warm water to remove all traces of the cleaning solution. Residual cleaning solution can irritate your skin. Use a blunt object to open the exhalation valve. Flush with clean water. To reduce drying time, wipe off excess water. Allow the facepiece to air dry. Do not attempt to force dry with heat or direct sunlight. In general, only the facepiece requires cleaning and disinfecting after each use. Use a sponge or soft brush dampened with a mild soap solution to remove deposits from the second stage regulator. Cover the outlet to prevent water, dirt, or debris from entering. Clean the harness straps and buckles. Pressure gauge, cylinder carrier, first stage regulator, cylinder, cylinder gauge, audible alarm, and coupling nut. Apply a very thin coating of Crystolube lubricant to the O-ring. Connect and disconnect the MMR and wipe the inlet port to remove excess lubricant. If you can see white, you've applied too much. Follow instruction in ANSI standards Z88.2 and Z88.5 to inspect the air mask after cleaning and disinfecting, or follow an inspection procedure prepared by a qualified health professional. If the air mask does not meet any of the following inspections, it must be removed from service. Do not inspect the air mask before cleaning if there is danger of contacting hazardous contaminants. Clean and disinfect first, then inspect. Failure to follow this warning can cause inhalation or skin absorption of the contaminant and result in serious personal injury or death. Inspect the air mask after each use and once a month. Perform a successful functional check before inspecting. Make sure the cylinder is free of corrosive chemicals. Remove the cylinder to inspect the backplate. Make sure the nipple O-ring is present and in good condition. Check the audible alarm. Make sure it is clean and undamaged. If present, inspect the URC. Make sure the fitting is clean and undamaged. Check the URC protective boot and lanyard. Make sure it is elastic, free of cracks, tears, weakness, or any condition that could cause loss of the protective boot. Replace the protective boot if it is missing or damaged. Inspect the backplate for cracks, weakened areas, or signs of heat or chemical damage. Inspect the cylinder body for cracks, dents, weakened areas, broken fibers, peeling, or signs of heat damage. Inspect the cylinder valve for signs of damage. Check the cylinder gauge. Be sure you can see the needle and face clearly. Make sure the gauge stem is not bent. Open the cylinder valve briefly to be sure it operates properly. Close the valve. Reconnect the alarm audible alarm. Be sure to fully hand tighten the coupling nut. Check for a current hydrostatic test date. Fiberglass and Kevlar composite cylinders must be tested every 3 years. Steel and carbon fiber cylinders must be tested every 5 years. If the cylinder is damaged, send it to an MSA service center. Call 1-800-MSA-2222 for instructions. Inspect the gauge hose for any visible damage. Check the housing for cracks, missing screws, or any other condition that could allow contaminants to enter. Check the heads-up display receiver. Make sure it is firmly attached. Check the housing for cracks, missing screws, or any condition that could allow contaminants to enter. Check the head harness. Make sure all straps are present. Look for breaks, signs of wear, loss of elasticity, and missing buckles. Inspect the lens for cracks, scratches, and a tight seal with the facepiece rubber. Inspect the facepiece for deterioration, dirt, cracks, tears, holes, or tackiness. Inspect the inlet adapter for damage. Make sure the inhalation check valve disc is present and in good condition. Check the exhalation valve. Make sure it's clean and operates freely. Make sure the cylinder is full before storing the air mask. Cylinder air must be at least CGA quality verification level, grade D respirable air. MSA manufactures your AirHawk MMR air mask to exacting quality standards for both materials and workmanship. AirHawk 2 MMR air masks must be flow tested annually. Flow testing must be performed by MSA certified repair persons. See the flow test and overhaul requirements section of your manual for more specific information. To learn more about MSA's AirHawk 2 air mask, check www.msanet.com or call customer service at 1-800-MSA-2222.